everybody. Okay, hope everyone's having a good afternoon today. Today we're kicking off the online launch for our new book, Pioneers of Singapore. Ellen, can you show them the new book? And then today we're just having a very relaxed chat with our comic artist, Ellen Day, who did Once Upon a Singapore Traders, Pioneers of Singapore, as well as the upcoming Sacred Guardians comic book. And today we're just going to chat a bit about his process and talk a bit about kind of like the inspiration and ideas that went into illustrating these books, illustrating these portraits of our pioneers. And then also we'll be talking a little bit more about upcoming projects and things that we have lined up for you guys. Okay, so let's start with a bit of a self-introduction. So Alan, you're a comic artist and also an illustrator. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Okay. Hi everyone. Okay. I have been a comic artist and illustrator for a couple of years. So my first official comic is actually Once Upon a Singapore Traders, which I co-created with Tina, and I have been doing comic books, board games, and illustration, children books, and yeah, basically this.
Okay, so actually, Alan, I think working on this Pioneers book, right, as a Singaporean that grew up in Singapore, can you tell us a little bit about, what's the process like? I think the thing that your illustrations really add to the book is a bit of humor and also a lot of recognizable places that I think kids and adults will all respond to, like say hawker centers, MRT stations, road signs even. Yeah, so can you tell us a bit about your process in the making for the book?
Um, my first difficulty or something that I was sort of afraid of was because I was really bad in history, like even like Singapore history. Like I've never passed my history test before, like any test, like back in like secondary school. So history is something that's to me something that wouldn't interest me to read. So when I get to do this project, I was kind of afraid, but at the same time I was like excited. So I actually went to read up a lot of for this pioneer, so that I can actually get to read stuff that are not so common about them, like little like things that in their life or little funny things. And yeah, and so my sort of my first creative direction is actually to draw a more humor version of the pioneers, because there are already like so many great drawing and painting of all these pioneer character. So I thought that no, we should draw something that is like funny, and there's a little bit sort of like a small story, like within individual character, and also hopefully where you see the picture, you sort of remember a little bit of the history associated with these characters. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so just to share with people what the artwork is like. Yeah, so we have like very recognizable portraits of our pioneers with schools, um, and also like I think the artwork is very lovable and very relatable. The colors are very fresh, so it really does add something to the reading experience. I think the main thing is to transform history from something that say like is difficult, is boring, people struggle with the exams, to turn it into something that is very fun and something that people will think like, oh, it's all around me. It's not something that I should be that is far away from me. It's next to me all the time. Yeah. So, oh, okay, we have some Q&A going on in the comments. So we'll come around to these questions in a little bit. But so far we have one question, which is which pioneer was the hardest to draw? This is from Hong Xin. Hi, Hong Xin. Yeah, Hong Xin's also an illustrator. We love his work. Yeah, so I think the questions that we said we'll talk about today, right? I guess it's kind of a similar idea, which is which was your favorite pioneer to draw in the book? And then I guess you can answer Hong Xin's question, which is maybe which one is the hardest, or maybe like the most challenging, yeah, for you to draw.
Okay, I'm trying to find him. Don't remember his
Yeah,
name.
I think it's not
It's Han Chi Sang. This one
a little bit.
because I think
A little bit.
hardly any like photo reference of him, and yeah, so it's kind of really like a really like a sort of like a pure imagination of this character. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not to make it too different from the rest. Although it look a bit manga-ish, I think this guy. Yeah, so this is one of the hardest person that I have to draw the book.
Yeah, Alan,
Um,
what's his name again? Hua Chong Long, right?
Han Chi Sang, is it?
This person's name. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so this I
Yeah.
think it's a challenge
Oh,
for us to work on these pioneers where there's a lot of urban legend about the character but not concrete like photographs
yes,
of
he sounds
his.
very like a legendary kind of character.
Yeah, yeah, lor. It's quite difficult, I guess, for especially the older pioneers. Like we have to be very upfront that we can only trace back those starting from a certain period because before that it's just impossible to find any
Mm,
meaningful records. Yeah, so I think the earliest pioneer that we talked about is the Hajar Fatima of
mm,
the Hajar Fatima Mosque. I think that is the earliest pioneer that we could think of. And I think there are no existing photographs of her. It's just that her legacy was preserved through the mosque and there are existing like paintings and pictures of her around. Yeah, so
okay.
uh, I think we talked about that. Is that the most difficult or the favorite pioneer to draw?
Uh, that is the most difficult.
Mm.
Okay, before I share the one that I like the most, I just shared this one that is sort of like the first, sort of like the first concept that I have, and I kind of quite like it. There's sorry.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, Yusof bin Ishaq.
I don't know
I
when I saw
understand.
his name,
I
I
don't
just
really
said
use this book.
yes.
Hmm?
Yeah, and I when I saw his name, like I just like have this random like concept about him, like associated with the like the dollar notes, and but of course it's like try not to make it too it should be funny and not like too sensitive or something. Yeah, so
Yeah,
so
I think
this
you like it.
mm, so it sort of like set the tone for the rest of the book, where they have this like this sort of like little humor kind of thing. Yeah. Uh, my favorite character is this lady. Lee Chu Nyo. Because originally she was like the only female character in the book, so I sort of like want to put in like the extra effort to draw her, and but yet in a way like not really wanted to emphasize that no about because she's a female, so we put her in this book. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this as in currently in this current period where of course we are very, I think like healthcare workers are really working super hard, and we are all trying to show more appreciation for them. Like I really like that artwork. Um yeah, it really it kind of like other healthcare workers in the background also. So it's a very like, yeah, this is very thematic, uh really contemporary relevance kind of drawing also. So for among the pioneers, right, Alan, the next
Mm.
question I wanted to ask is so after drawing all of these pioneers, right, and then yeah, the more difficult ones and the more favorite ones. So if you are a pioneer in Singapore, what kind of drawing can you imagine for yourself? Like what kind of legacy
Ah,
would you want to leave behind? Do you have any idea?
um, I will hope that I will have like a painting of myself that's like a tall, handsome, slim person, and probably surrounded with like
Yeah.
all the characters and cartoon that I've done, and like hopefully like people will remember that the like the joy and the fun that I bring to people with my like drawing and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like I think that's something very nice to leave behind, like people smiling and people laughing um,
Mm.
throughout your lifetime and after that. And actually that brings us to something that I wanted to mention in this live chat as well. For the rest of the month, we are going to be doing an online giveaway based on Pioneers of Singapore, and I'm going to paste the link in our chat here. And basically, how this works, right, is this is a pop quiz. So, for those of you who love pop quizzes and love, I guess, like winning prizes, definitely check out our pop quiz giveaway. Test out your reading skills and your history knowledge and see whether or not you'll be able to win some of the prizes that we have on offer, which would be a copy of Pioneers of Singapore, as well as some other uh, complimentary books as well. Yeah, so actually for the pioneers, there's a pop quiz, and then there's also one question which is which pioneer of Singapore were you most inspired by? So since Alan, you're with us here today, maybe you can give us some ideas. So like while you're working on this book and doing research and all that, which pioneer did you feel the most inspired by? Was it someone that you knew of, or is it someone that you had never heard of in your life?
Uh, there are actually quite a lot of pioneer that I didn't heard of, partly because of like my knowledge in history.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that sort of give me a good, very deep impression is
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, Govindasamy Pillai.
Yeah,
Yeah. So can you tell
yeah.
us about?
So when I read, mm, yeah, so when I actually read about him and like the stuff he do, the stuff he did, and like all the contribution he did, and but and at the same time, they actually wrote about like uh, the way he is like the way he take care of his family and his wife, and I think that's something that a lot of history books don't talk about. Like they always talk about like how great the person is and like his work and stuff, but they rarely talk about like his family, like how he is with his family, like his wife and stuff. So it gave me like a deep impression that like, despite like contributing so much and working so hard, like when back at home, he's still like a caring husband, a caring dad, uh, caring like a grandfather, that sort of thing. So like that's something that we always tend to forget. Like he actually have a family that he has to take care of, a family that he loves. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that is very true. Like a lot of maybe this is a Confucian idea, but it all starts at home, right?
Mm,
And that's something that I think the writers really tried to develop in this book. They try to grab all the snippets that they can find, including personal ones, and try to relate them to a character of a person. Yeah, and I think for the Pillai, there's Narayana Pillai as well,
mm,
and it's very interesting that there are all these small stories about how yeah, like
mm,
serving food to their staff members in their factory or office cafeteria. They would personally go and sample the food themselves to make sure that it's up to standard for the workers there. So yeah, there's a lot of this kind of uh, I feel like there are all these examples that maybe it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it does leave an impression on the people who know these people.
yeah. Wanted
Okay,
to write about or draw about.
yeah. Sorry, Ella, I didn't catch that.
Okay. As in, that is something that I always wanted to write or draw about, as in like all these pioneer or even
Mm,
like a political character, their sort of like their personal life or their little life story, that seldom like presented on the screen or like in front of public. But at the same time, because it's like
mm,
so difficult, like to document all this little story, yeah. So it's a bit hard to like actually like you probably have to talk to people that are still around that know all this little story. Yeah.
yeah. I think family is quite important for these kind of memories, like the people who are around you, say like your colleagues or like your family members. Yeah, I do feel that what's nice about is in nowadays there's a lot of ways to capture and document these stories. So hopefully we can do that more. And yeah, like I think in life also like we need to appreciate these small things. It's
Yeah.
like appreciate them and the people around us, and like on a day to day level appreciate all the kind of kindness and nice little things that people do for each other, even complete strangers. Yeah. So actually, Alan, the other question that I had for you was related to your process. So for the drawing for these pioneers, right, you were saying that you did some research and also your first concept was starting that use of Ishak in the $2 note artwork.
Mm.
So what can you tell us a bit more about your process? Like say where you find inspiration, what tools you use for research, and also the drawing process. Did it take you very long or is it very fast? That kind of thing.
Uh, so what I did was I will like search for all the individual pioneers, so search for their article and stuff. So we try to like extract a little thing that the individual did, like where he went to or like what he helped to build, what he helped to construct. and then try to make like a little story with the drawing. And but at the same time, I think sometimes information on the net are not exactly like 100% correct. So like we have to like went through and forth with the editor, like that they will tell me that this didn't happen, or it's like it's not this school, it's the other school, and we do some adjustment. And I did most of my drawing in Photoshop, and it is all digital. So like usually I'll do like a very draft sketch, and I'll show you and the editor. So after that then you will come back to me. Then I'll do like the black and white drawing. Then after that I'll do the coloring. Uh, and I think one of the other difficulty that I faced when drawing this book is I'm not very good at drawing caricature, as a more realistic caricature. So that's another reason why I choose to draw like a more cartoony or humor version of the individual pioneers.
Yeah, I think the drawing definitely is very different from the previous book. Because we did a previous edition in the early 2000s, and that one was really like it's a black and white line drawing, kind of almost photographic, um, capturing the person. But I think your drawings definitely add a lot to the artwork, and it's very creative and it's very lively, which is kind of what we were hoping for when we wanted to, I guess, work with an artist that is more, like maybe a bit more humorous or like a bit more imaginative in the expression for the artwork. Yeah, so thanks for sharing about your creative process. I think it's like for it took a lot of I mean, I think it's very difficult to do that kind of research on so many characters and to be able to still have a lot of creative ideas and humorous ideas coming through in the artwork also. So I think what you did was really, I mean, we really appreciate it lah. Like every image that we look at in the book, every story, every pioneer that we see, right? I think the images bring a smile to our face. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like the one on Wampo is one of my favorite ones. It's very cute. Yeah,
Yeah,
so with
because I'm
Wampo,
not very like 100% sure that is it like a real correct information. So, but I think like we did some like fact check, and yeah, it's sort of associated. And I have this concept of like sort of um but not for all, but for I think most of them uh like they are in a sort of in a fusion with the modern time, like buildings and places that are associated with them. Yeah, so that I think people can actually like maybe a lot of people might not know all these places are actually associated with all these pioneer. So I hope like it also help like to link up when you see the big picture. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really important because like these people left behind these places and these legacies, and it's very important to remember that they started out. I mean, these people were all living at one point. Um, all have
Mm.
families. They're just like you and me in a way. They were all kids and then they grew up and then they went on to do very interesting things in their lives. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, they're still human beings and you know,
Mm.
there's no reason why we cannot achieve or cannot do what these people managed to do.
Mm.
Like let's say if we want to invent
Yeah.
tiger balm, we can always come up with
Mm.
some amazing medical product. Who knows
Yeah.
what kind of things will be discovered by people of our generation and tomorrow's generation. Yeah.
Mm.
So I think that's something that we hope people will also continue to reflect on when they read this book. Especially
Mm.
for younger readers, we hope that when they read this book, they'll be inspired to imagine the things that they can also do as, yeah, like, as ordinary citizens or or even new immigrants to Singapore. There's a lot of things that can be done here and a lot of things to discover and research and pioneer in this country. Yeah, so um, I think we are coming soon. Okay, we're in the last 5 minutes of today's live chat. I think if anyone has any questions, please put it in the comments. We will get back to you. But I think now we want to also talk a little bit about, yeah, lah, just kind of catching up. What is we wanted to find out also, Alan, like, what's new with you? Do you have any new projects coming up? Anything that we should be looking forward to?
Okay, I think for the past couple of months I've been working on this new comic book, and I think we just sort of finished it like the beginning of the month, which is Sacred Guardian. Uh, Maybe you can show the website, by the way, they can
Oh, okay.
pre-order.
Yeah, yeah. I think Sacred
Yeah, so
Garden is really like one of
mm,
our most exciting projects right now. Okay, let me share screen.
mm, okay. Okay, so basically we just finished Sacred Guardian like beginning of the month, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a rather ambitious project. So we have the writer um, from the production team, Croatia, and I'm the one doing the illustration. So it's also very different from what we have done, like compared to like Traders or Pioneer. So this is a more like an action comic with sort of like a reimagine of like a history of the Asia, like back in the olden time. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we're really, I said, I can share with you guys on the live stream. We are sending this book to print about this week. It's one of the projects that got a little bit delayed because of the recent COVID-19 situation. But yeah, we're really very excited about this project. I think it's something very new. Um, I think Ellen, like the artwork in this comic book is really is there's a lot of action, there's a lot of fantasy elements. It's very colorful. There's a lot of very interesting character designs as well. So I think this is a book that it's very. I think it's quite difficult, right? It's quite difficult to work on, but it's really I think it's gone one step beyond um the Once Upon a Singapore Traders comic book. I really feel like you took it to a whole new level in terms of the artwork. So very, very excited about this. And then anything oh yeah, I also wanted to share with you guys. I so this is just wanted to show everyone lah. This is Alan's other comic book. Yeah, Once Upon Singapore Traders. So this is also another very Singapore history and heritage focused chapter, um, published by Asia Pac Books. And then yeah, lah, so this is I highly recommend this. I mean, obviously, like highly recommend this book. I think it's worthwhile for people to collect. If you like a certain artist, like you should try to collect all of their books. A lot of them are very different, and I'm pretty sure that everyone will enjoy this book. Yeah, so please check it out. Yeah, and then are there any other projects coming up?
Um, I'm doing some like smaller project. Not
Hmm.
really comic, but yeah. Uh, yeah, probably not a good time to announce it. Yeah, it's working on some new stuff.
Okay. Okay. Still busy lah.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, I mean it's a difficult period for everyone, but it's great to see you and great to see that you've still got projects lined up. And of course we will definitely be back very soon with more digital online book events to talk about yeah the upcoming books, especially Secret Guardians, which I'm very, very excited about. And also some of our other books that are coming up Uh, Elizabeth Choi is another new book that we're working on. This book is now available. We have yet to formally launch it, but basically it's kind of been soft launched already, and it's one of the most important books that we're also releasing this year also. So it's kind of funny. This year is kind of the year of the pandemic, but for us, we are still publishing tons of great new books, and so we hope everyone will check it out. And okay, so I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you to everybody who joined us today, and thank you to Alan, who is always, really like, I think one of our, I mean, we've only started working with him since a few years ago, but it's been a wonderful process the entire time. Alan's a terrific artist, and wish you all the best with all your upcoming projects, and have a good rest and whatnot. And then, okay, the very last thing that I wanted to share today is actually for this Pioneers of Singapore book, we had so many ideas for the marketing because this book is set in Singapore. There's so many landmarks, so many things to talk about, and we couldn't organize it. But what we decided to do instead is to turn it online. So today we have this virtual chat. We are also doing a virtual walking tour with Charlotte, who is one of our very, I think one of Singapore's like most popular tour guides. She's a fantastic tour guide. She's very famous for her uh, walking tours in heritage areas in particular. So I'm going to leave the link to the email in the chat, in the comments chat here. And I hope that everyone will go and check it out. Have a little bit of a walking tour experience in from the comfort of your own home, whether you're at home or in the office or whatnot. Yeah, I hope that everyone will enjoy the virtual walking tour. And yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll go be signing off now. Wish you all the best. And thanks so much, Ellen. It's great seeing you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ling Ying. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you. See you. Ending broadcast.